Hey, this is Scott Sumter, BikeIowa.com, on the other side of Trans-Iowa V13. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the race, my bike, and my gear. A big thanks to Mark Stevenson of Europa Cycles and all the volunteers that made this race happen. I mean, it definitely would not happen without them. Race started in front of Bikes to You in Grinnell at 4 a.m. on the 29th of April 2017, and a starting line of 76 folks with 10 women in the field, the largest women field ever. First leg was 46 miles, and we actually ended up in Baxter. The weather, it wasn't raining then, but the weather never broke in the 40s, high winds, and once we got to Baxter, there's quite a few people who did not make that cutoff. So after checkpoint 1, it was 130 miles, I believe. So it was about 14 miles after checkpoint 1 when the rain started coming down. I was already dressed in my rain gear, so I didn't have to stop and change. I saw quite a few people pulled over, changing out. So as we were riding through, we got close to Melbourne. We were supposed to take a left on a trail, and there were about 5 of us that saw a convenience store up in Melbourne. So we rode a mile off route to get the convenience store and come back. We weren't sure when the next one was going to be. And then we continued a counterclockwise loop kind of around central Iowa. So we hit Madrid was the next convenience store, and then we hit Adel. We had a level B. Both level Bs were, you had to hike a bike, so it was a full mile on each one. And a bunch of, the rain was going sideways by that point. Started to get soaked. A lot of people in the convenience stores weren't going any further. There was one after Winterset, level B, where it looked like almost like a plowed field. Wherever you were stepping through, you were submerging your boots, and that was kind of my demise on getting my feet cold. But we were only, 15 miles from the second checkpoint, and the second checkpoint ended up being the Coming Tap, which was kind of crazy. It's kind of a stomping grounds of mine. So come in there, and there's a bunch of people who had got to checkpoint 2, but were staying. They were already drinking beer and having pizza. I think as the time went on, I think the race, there was only 12 people who left checkpoint 2 and continued on. I was one of those, but I only made it 16 miles out before my brakes gave out and just almost like hypothermic, just shaking, and just decided to pull the plug at that point versus getting any further out. So about 5 miles out of the Coming Tap, I'm flying down this hill and my light just goes out. And that's when I kind of noticed I didn't have any brakes. So I Flintstone stopped, changed my light battery, rode about another 10 miles, and brakes were getting worse. I mean, I had no brakes, hypothermia setting in. I was getting about 7 miles an hour on the flats, total headwind coming at me. And mile 211, decided to pull the plug. Tough one, but I don't regret it. 211 is a long ways. 6 people finished. Dan Hughes from Lawrence, Kansas got first place, I believe, in 31 hours. Greg Gleason, past TI winner, got second place. And 4 other folks finished, and I think Dan Lockey finished after the cutoff. But one of the toughest races out there is what I hear for version 13. This is only my 3rd attempt, but love everybody who puts it on. And if you want to learn more about the race, tune in to ridinggravel.com, Trans-Iowa Radio. There's almost 70 call-ins from the race. And finally, I'd like to thank BikeIowa.com sponsor Josh Lederman with Lederman Bail Bonds. He sponsored these fine Trans-Iowa t-shirts for Mark. Trans-Iowa, it's a kick in the junk.